Figgins, Izturis, and top three in the Angels order. Another good year for Figgins, 311 with a homer and 30 RBIs. So Vin Mazzaro, his ninth start, he's 2-5 with a 3.59 ERA. And he is trying to get back on the winning track. Figgins drives one to right. It is gone. Chone Figgins, the fourth pitch of the ball game, and he homers to right, and the Angels, just like that, take a 1-0 lead.
How about that for the All-Star Chone Figgins, immediately connecting against Vin Mazzaro, who has struggled as of late. Here's a pitch that did not do exactly what he wanted, to cut it more on the inside half, and Figgins just dropped the barrel and gone.
Well, the Angels jump ahead, and here's Mycerius Izturis. Just the fifth home run that Mazzaro has given up on the season. Quickly 0-2 to Mycerius Izturis, another switch hitter.
It makes it so tough playing on the opposition when you have so many guys that can switch sides, because your bullpen becomes a little more taxed and strategy becomes even more important.
Mazzaro strikes out Izturis for the first out of the ball game.
And here's a sprint pitcher profile for Vin Mazzaro. Well, time to adjust to the league. He was outstanding the first 4 starts, and he needs to trust that two-seam fastball more. It's powerful. And always against the Angels, you got to guard against the stolen bases, so he needs to vary his times with those base runners.
Mazzaro's first 2 starts of his career. June 2nd against the White Sox, 6 1/3 shutout innings. Next start, June 7th against the Orioles, 7 1/3 shutout innings. Both wins. That's the good news. The problem is he has not won since then, and that is covering 6 starts. The life of a young pitcher, ups and downs, and the A's know that, and they know that the young man has a chance to be very good, but you're going to see some good starts, and then you're going to see starts where he gets knocked around a little. Abreu, a line drive right at the center fielder Ryan Sweeney for the second out.
Ryan Sweeney can sure go get him in center field, and the infield, a couple of stalwarts in the middle. Cabrera and Ellis. Landon Powell gets a start behind the plate with Mazzaro on the mound.
So 2 outs for Juan Rivera, the cleanup hitter.
You're a young pitcher. You see that defense, especially up the middle. And not to take away from Kennedy, who usually is second baseman, but when your pitching coach comes out and says, pitch to your defense, let them play for you, it takes a while to grow into that, but you have to understand more and more, especially if you're a sinker baller.
And the A's very good with Cabrera, Ellis, and Sweeney up the middle. So every game a learning experience for Vin Mazzaro, the youngster. Just 22 years old. 6'1", 215 pounds. He was the A's 3rd round pick in 2005 out of high school.
And all of that also, Glenn, let's add the fact that he is not getting a lot of run support.
I always thought maybe the most important thing a young pitcher can have is runs to work with. And that has not been always the case for this young A's pitching staff this year. Rutherford, New Jersey. 2-2 to Rivera, and he rolls it foul. So a couple of months at the AAA level for Vin Mazzaro this year, and then he was called up at the beginning of June. I doubt if he'll see the minor leagues again.
There's no reason to. Forget his record.
Adam Kennedy right near the bag. It's a fair ball. He throws wide up the line, but Giambi comes off the bag, makes the tag on Rivera's side, retired. Chone Figgins, the first batter of the game, his 2nd home run of the year, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead after a half an inning. strike outside the bunt. Adam Kennedy, Orlando Cabrera, Matt Holliday, Jack Cust. Cust is in right field, and Kurt Suzuki will DH, followed by Giambi, Sweeney, Howell, and Ellis. Angels on the Sean Figgins leadoff home run with a 1-0 lead is Jared Weaver. First pitch to Kennedy's driven to center, but room out there for Gary Matthews Jr. He has it. So 1 out. Jared Weaver, a terrific season. 10-3 with a 3.22 ERA. Look down at the opponent's average. Always a sign of whether the guy's got good stuff or not, and Weaver certainly does.
He has really been a guy that you can count on now. The sprint pitcher profile for Jared Weaver. Stay on the attack mode. He is not nibbling as much anymore. Repeat that changeup. It is that good against lefties and against righties.
Weaver, a guy that, so Chris Rose talking about the All-Star game on Tuesday in St. Louis. There's always the list of guys who probably could have and maybe should have made the All-Star team and did not. Jared Weaver's name definitely will be on that list.
Absolutely. I mean,
there's always guys that, oh boy, he got looked over a little bit. Jose, no question, he's been the most consistent starter for the Angels this year as Cabrera bounces out to short, 2 outs.
You consider the Angels started without Lackey in the rotation, without Kevin Escobar, who's still out. Perhaps I don't know if he's going to come back or not. And Irvin Santana. And they went to the youngster Weaver. He took it upon himself, and he really grew into the responsibility and into the role of being a guy that can be a stopper for you in that rotation.
2 outs for Matt Holliday. Holliday hitting third. Couple of hits, including a home run for Holliday in this series against the Angels. Angels won 6-2 on Thursday night. The A's won 7-3 last night. It's going to be an interesting 2 weeks for Matt Holliday. I think he's going to be one of the most heavily scouted players by many teams. His name sitting right on top of the list of guys who could be traded by the trading deadline.
Certainly before the season, it was almost like it was going to be automatic. Right now, it's not.
3-0 pitch is in there for a strike on the outside corner. Well, really, the trade speculation surrounding Matt Holliday, as you said, it started about the day that Billy Beane acquired him from the Rockies.
You better believe it.
3-1 pitch, just a bit low, and it's a 2-out walk.
We talked to you about what the pitcher possesses, but how about the hitters? What do they need to do against Weaver? First of all, be ready to swing early, as Adam Kennedy just did there. 2-strike adjustment, because he is going to throw you a lot of breaking balls and some changeups, so think up the middle. And then if you get on base, you have an opportunity to get a jump, you can run. He's allowed 9 stolen bases this year.
Well, it's not very often when the A's and the Angels play that you talk about the A's stealing bases, but that was the case in last night's game. Cust takes outside. The A's stole 4 bases last night. And it led you to believe that they had a pretty good look at Joe Saunders, the starting pitcher, and they were getting good jumps off him. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see the A's run today as well against Jared Weaver.
Holliday can run. 10 stolen bases, 13 attempts. So he has a very good idea on getting leads, reading pitches.
Holliday not going, and Cust takes a strike in the outside corner. Umpire rotation for this afternoon. Chris Guccione calls balls and strikes. Mike Malinsky at first, Jerry Lane at second, and Tony Randazzo is down at third. Beautiful afternoon in the Bay Area.
Keep the ball down. It will carry more during the day.
Yes, it will. 2-1 now to Jack Cust, who has 14 homers and 44 runs batted in.
Like Jack Cust really thrives on hitting mistakes and really elevates. And obviously, you're going to see 2 sides: the home run power, and then the walks. The third side, the strikeouts.
Yep. Holliday takes off. Pitch is called a strike. Throw to second base. Not in time. Stolen base for Matt Holliday. So the A's at it again early, just like last night with the stolen base.
So what do you think? This is a trend that's going to stay here around Oakland for the second half of the season?
Well, I don't know about that.
It worked last night. You don't need to be the fastest if you have an idea, if you can anticipate counts and see how they're pitching somebody. As Matt Holliday just did there. Very good jump. Scoring position.
2-2 the count to Jack Cust. A chance to tie up the ball game. Changeup runs outside, so it's a full count. Well, the A's are 12th out of 14 teams in the American League in total runs scored, and last in home runs, so they need to run.
It really surprises me sometimes with the problems they've had manufacturing runs. Why not use that more often?
3-2 pitch, just a bit low. Weaver thought it was a strike. He took a step toward the dugout. Walks and strikeouts. Leading the American League, Jack Cust did it last year. 111 walks and 197 strikeouts. He's a very, very unique hitter.
Think about the times he puts the ball in play. Added to the home runs. The percentage of home runs on balls put in play is amazing.
Well, a line for Jack Cust, 1 for 2 with a homer, a walk, and a strikeout is not unusual at all. Kurt Suzuki steps in and takes a strike on the outside corner. Suzuki, the everyday catcher for the Athletics, but DHing this afternoon. There was a lot of talk surrounding Kurt Suzuki making the All-Star team this year for the Athletics. It ended up being the rookie closer Andrew Bailey.
He plays a position that requires a lot of leadership, but I am really, I'm not going to say amazed, but how quickly he has taken over the reins of saying, you can follow me, and especially working with so many young pitchers, hold his own behind the plate. Does a very excellent job with the bat.
I think he has a full understanding of his responsibility to a young pitching staff.
It reminds me a little bit of Ramon Hernandez, and when he was a catcher here for those years with Hudson, Barry Zito,
Mark Mulder.
And
I guess the younger the pitching staff, the more important the catcher is.
And a lot of times, more people believe in having a veteran catcher leading a younger staff, but I really like what Billy Beane has done here through the years.
Suzuki with 5 home runs and 38 runs batted in to go with his .287 batting average. Fouls that one back. Changeup that stayed up and out over the plate. Holliday at second, Cust at first. Angels play Suzuki just slightly shaded toward right center field. That is Gary Matthews Jr. Reggie Willits is shallow and right. This one hit toward shallow right and toward the line. Willits steps in. Bautista Freeze. Welcome back to Oakland, California. The East Bay is what they call it here in the Bay Area. A's and the Angels, second inning. Sean Figgins led off the ball game with a home run off Vin Mazzaro. First pitch to Kenry Morales outside. Morales, Napoli, and Matthews. Kenry Morales has been one of the hitting stories in this series, and maybe one of the hitting stories of the year for the Angels.
You're right. He's made a lot of people forget about Casey Kochman, who was traded away for Mark Teixeira. And Morales always knew getting the opportunity, as he developed in the system, he was going to produce. We're seeing it.
I get the feeling the Angels, sure, they wanted to keep Mark Teixeira, but maybe quietly they said, let's spread that money around a little bit. And we have a young first baseman that's pretty good. Morales with a base hit up the middle. So Kenry Morales, a leadoff single here in the second, and let's go downstairs and check in with our man Chris Rose. Chris, how you doing?
All right, Glenn, thank you. It's time for our DirecTV game break, but instead we're going to show you a little bit of Kenry Morales. Did you see him Thursday night doing his thing? Well, instead he turned into Curtis Granderson just like that, because CC Sabathia, one of his 4Ks on the day, and then A-Rod, 571st career homer, 2 now behind Harmon Killebrew for 9th all-time. Yankees improved to 40-22 since A-Rod's return May 8th. Best in the bigs. They win it. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team only on DirecTV. Glenn?
Thank you, Chris. Swing and a miss by Mike Napoli. So the Yankees, a 2-1 lead. Mike Napoli's been hard on the A's this year. 8 hits in 19 at bats. Big, strong guy. 11 home runs and 33 runs batted in for Napoli. Napoli is the catcher today. He was the designated hitter last night. You get the feeling that he's become such a threat offensively. Mike Scioscia tries very hard to keep him in the lineup, whether it be behind the plate or as the designated hitter.
That was why the Angels brought up a third catcher when Guerrero went down and Torrey Hunter went down, to get Mike Napoli in that lineup more often.
Fastball runs inside, 2-1. Angels are 3rd in the American League in total runs scored, behind the Yankees and the Rays. Not necessarily a large amount of home runs, but they have the ability to score runs in many different ways. 3-1 now to Napoli.
Was our ideal guy. If you're looking for a ground ball double play at this point, I would say with his good running fastball, that good sinker he has, maybe take some off of it and have that ball sink a little bit more. Right-handed hitter like Napoli, make him roll right on top of it.
This one pop foul back. I think Kurt Young, the A's pitching coach, who does a very nice job with this young staff, talks about working with young pitchers and how very common when they're struggling or maybe behind in the count, instead of taking a little off, they throw harder.
I like Greg Maddux.
Yeah, exactly.
When it gets tougher, Greg Maddux always said, you go soft.
Throw soft. Morales takes off on 3-2. The pitch is called a strike. Throw down, and Morales is out. So it's a strike him out, throw him out double play as Landon Powell throws out Morales. And a nice play by the second baseman, Mark Ellis.
Good defense overall. Quick release, not waiting for the umpire. Morales did not get a great jump. He looked in case the ball was put in play, but no doubt, as you mentioned right there, Mark Ellis, Gold Glove quality at second base, makes it a lot easier on his catcher. You cannot stay back and wait for that ball, because that ball would have been in center field.
Two outs for Gary Matthews Jr. A couple of home runs and 25 RBIs for the switch hitter Matthews. Jose mentioned the switch hitters in the Angels lineup. How about 6 of them? I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
That is a tough act to follow. And as I mentioned earlier, for the opposing manager to always have to look at the splits. Righty, lefty, lefty, righty. Who do I bring in? why, and then why use that guy for one batter and take him out?
3-1 now to Gary Matthews Jr. And most teams 2, maybe 3 switch hitters. Angels have 6, and they're all in the lineup this afternoon. It's Bob Geren, the manager of the Oakland A's, his 3rd season at the helm of the green and gold. Toward the A's bullpen with the foul ball. Angels are 50-38. The A's are 38-50. Payoff pitch is lined to left, and that's a base hit. Nice job of hitting by Gary Matthews Jr. And the ball goes past Holliday, and that's going to allow Matthews to go to second base. It's going to be an error on the left fielder. Single, E7. Holliday just didn't get his glove down in time.
A good piece of hitting by Matthews. Now it seems like Holliday was a little concerned about trying to get that snake out of the way and have that ball skip to his right. Did not get his glove down on time. And Matthews with that speed is always a threat, Glenn, as you know. Anytime you have somebody hit a ball side to side from you in the outfield, especially with the Angels, you always think about the extra base.
Here's Eric Aybar, another switch hitter. Goes after the first pitch and pops it up. Cabrera out. He's got it, side retired. So the error does not hurt the A's as Gary Matthews is stranded. 1-0 Angels. Budweiser, reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Bottom of the 2nd inning from the Oakland Coliseum. The Angels with a 1-0 lead over the Athletics. Jose Mota and Glenn Kuiper. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Pepsi. Giambi, Sweeney, and Powell, the 3 hitters that Jared Weaver will face. The changeup catches the outside corner, 1-1.
Here's a triangle.
Yep.
3 guys are fitting on this side. For the Angels against Giambi. Now, you can defend one way, but you also have to pitch that same way. If you keep leaving fastballs out over the outer half of the plate, a guy like Giambi will hit it that way. But you got to convince yourself to pitch inside, use a changeup so you can roll over it. And a defense like this series already costs a 4-5-3 double play. Something you don't see very often.
And most pitchers this year attack Giambi on the inner half.
especially when they understand that he's not getting extended. And that trip to New York made him even more pull happy than he ever was.
It's been a tough year for Jason Giambi. The average just 191. Does have 11 home runs and 40 runs batted in. But the homecoming to Oakland has not been what he envisioned and not what the A's have envisioned. 3-2 pitch is foul back.
And I was mentioning New York because obviously when you sign the big contract with the Yankees, short porch at right field, you become so accustomed to looking at that and going, I need to pull the ball. I need to get on top of the plate. When he left Oakland, he was a guy that would hit the ball out to left center field like a right-handed hitter. Left center field with authority, down the left field line, staying back on changeups, and unfortunately that had happened, but he still has the ability, I think, to make a quick adjustment and start spreading the ball around, see the ball better, and he's always told me that when he thinks the other way more, he tracks the ball better.
3-2 pitch, off speed, swing and a miss. First strikeout for Jared Weaver. Well, you can now find Fox Sports on both MySpace and Facebook. Get breaking news, video clips, widgets, and more. And just go to myspace.com/Fox Sports or facebook.com/Fox Sports and join the community. One out here in the second for Ryan Sweeney. So Jared Weaver walked a couple in the first inning. The A's were not able to capitalize. That one stays a little bit low as well, 2-0.
Now you go back to regular defense. Sweeney, obviously not a dead pull hitter as Giambi is. He'll spread the ball around with some authority.
Three home runs, 22 runs batted in for Ryan Sweeney. Landon Powell waits in the on-deck circle. Sweeney did not play last night.
Stoll has been a great hitter against the Angels. Lifetime .364, .333 this season.
Fouls that one right back to the screen.
And at times he's very tough to pitch to because he has the ability to shorten his swing, really wait till last minute with some quick hands, and then other times you see him looping a lot with that swing.
And now full count. Midwest kids. Ryan Sweeney, born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and still lives there. Terrific all-around athlete in high school. He's got him in a trade with the Chicago White Sox. It was the Nick Swisher trade. He's a good young player. The A's hope that maybe down the line develop a little more power, maybe learn how to turn on inside pitches, drive the ball a little bit more. He's got all the tools to become a very good player. 3-2 pitch, curveball, swing and a miss. So a couple of strikeouts for Jared Weaver. One thing Ryan Sweeney has mastered is defense. Check it out, Jose.
He can go get him. Over in Arlington, reaching over the wall. Just a great athlete. And that was a tough play. I mean, back to the plate over in Seattle, covering a lot of ground. Line to line, and you mentioned former pitcher. He can do a lot. Glove and arm.
Well, and the A's acquired Scott Hairston a week and a half ago, and Hairston's been playing center field. Not in the lineup today, and Ryan Sweeney's moved over to right. He's terrific in either center or right. Strike to Landon Powell to even the count at 1-1. Jared Weaver breaking out the big slow curve here in the second inning.
He's really worked hard on repeating delivery, landing correctly, following up on that front leg.
Just a bit low. 3-1 now to Landon Powell, who's a switch hitter. A start this afternoon. Line drive to right, and that's fair, just inside the foul line. Powell does not run real well, but he's going to try for second, and the big guy will make it with a stand-up double. It's the first hit for the A's this afternoon.
That's what you call doing your homework. Worry about the outer half and connect. When you worry about the outer half, you're thinking about staying back and being on changeups or curveballs. This time he gets a fastball away, and with that swing of the mentality, there it is. Hit at the right place for that man to make it to second base. Well done.
Batting in the ninth position, second baseman.
Didn't even have to slide.
He made it easy. Looked like Rajay Davis from last night, right?
Times
Not quite.
one.
So the ninth place hitter Mark Ellis steps in. Ellis, kind of the glue to this Oakland A's team. He's been around a long time, takes high. Very important part of the makeup of the Athletics.
Here's one thing I like to see. Gary Matthews, for me right now, too far.
Well, he plays very deep, does he not?
Got him at second base, who's not very fast. You got to give yourself a better chance charging in on a base hit to center field.
Well, just in looking at Matthews, even the last couple hitters, when there was nobody on base, playing very deep.
It's a ballpark where, forget about the daytime right now. It's a ballpark where the ball, you really have to crush the ball to center field to get it over your head.
2-0 to Ellis, and that's on the outside corner. Even left center, right center, it's 388 with a little bit of a higher wall. But you're right, Powell, you will have a chance to throw him out at home plate if you're the Angels outfielders. Curveball outside corner, 2-2.
Mark Ellis, he gets a lot of prowess, obviously, because he can pick it, but he's always been a very dangerous hitter against the foes in the division, especially against the Angels.
Fights that one off.
If you watch him, it's a swing that's really low maintenance swing. He chokes up on the bat slightly, waits for the ball long, does not have a long stride. Very professional hitter, and if he misses with a fastball once in a while, he can really deposit it. Nice loose hands.
Takes that pitch low, 3-2. Mark Ellis spent quite a bit of time on the disabled list. He got hurt at the end of April, strained his calf, his left calf. Just came back at the end of June, so he really missed almost 2 months. Payoff pitch to Ellis. It's hit hard, but right at the third baseman, Sean Figgins. Figgins' throw is in time. We'll return to Oakland after a word from your local Fox station. Well, Game 7 of the 1973 World Series. Reggie Jackson with a big home run. The A's won the game and obviously won the series. That brings us to Reggie Willits, who was named after former A's and Yankees great Reggie Jackson. You name your first son Jackson.
That's right.
I like that. Jackson Willits.
Great family sports. His sister Wendy was a former basketball player. Played for the LA Sparks.
And Reggie Willits lines one to right center for a base hit. Willits with the big turn. So leadoff single for Willits here in the third inning.
He can run. He stole 27 bases for the Angels back in 2007 when he got a chance to play in 136 games. So let's see what Mazara does. Is Willits gets on base, and he knows so many possibilities with Mike Scioscia's teams, going first to third on singles, hitting runs, stolen bases, and for a young pitcher, a big challenge.
Well, we saw it last night as well with the Angels lineup. Eric Aybar hitting ninth. You get the feeling Mike Scioscia likes to have that kind of hitter hitting ninth because he really becomes a leadoff hitter. You have 2 or 3 fast guys in front of the big guys, Abreu and Rivera and Morales. Pretty good move by Mike Scioscia.
Right now, because the Angels have not seen Mazara before, there's the best opportunity with a good base runner to see what kind of move he has. You got to really stretch it out there at first base. That's it. Now you get back, you still can get a little bit more. But Mazara, a good athlete, has a tough New Jersey mentality. Don't beat me.
So you're saying get a big lead, make him throw over there so you can see what it looks like.
Yeah, well, it's flinching on that one. And that's what happens too when you don't know a guy. And all of a sudden you're faced with an opportunity with a green light, or Mike Scioscia might wait to give him a green light.
One and one the count to Sean Figgins. Willits and scampers back. And boy, you have Aybar hitting 8th, Willits 9th, and then Figgins and Izturis at the top. That is 4 very fast guys.
They all make you think about pitch selection and varying your moves.
Willits takes an extra half step and he takes off. Pitches a bit high, throw to second base, not quite in time, as Cabrera could not come up with it cleanly. So it's a stolen base for Reggie Willits.
He did a good job at least drawing attention early. Here's a jump, excellent jump, straight steal. He doesn't have to look in. One hopper to second base, adding some pressure also on the catcher Landon Powell. Now you have more options offensively on ways to try to get him over to third base.
Adam Kennedy, the third baseman, in on the grass, as is Giambi, the first baseman.
Tell you what, Glenn, we saw Sean Figgins smiling after the home run leading up, and boy, has it been a week and a half of smiles for Sean Figgins after an original disappointment.
Yeah. Bunts that one, and it's a good one. Kennedy on the bare hand throws to first, and he throws it away. Down the right field line. Willits will score. Figgins is going to try for third. The throw is not in time. It's a single and E5. Willits scores. And the Angels' speed showing up here in the third inning.
Opportunities that you create because you can run.
Number 13.
Also, on the mechanics of running the bases, he saw Figgins right away pick up the ball over his right shoulder. He looks in. He knows exactly where the ball is. A lot of foul territory. He knows he cannot stop at second base.
Here's Maicer Izturis. He takes a fastball first strike. Well, last night, Rajay Davis was the runner at first. Joe Saunders on a pickoff attempt threw it down in the same area, and Davis came all the way around to score. Enormous foul territory here at the Coliseum. So 0-2 to Izturis. Here's Rajay Davis. Very fast. It was a big play in last night's game. It gave the A's a 4-3 lead, and they went on to win the game. Swing and a miss by Izturis on a good slider from Mazaro down and in. So that's the first out here in the third, and let's check in with Chris Rose. Chris?
Yeah, Glenn, you guys were talking about Sean Figgins being all smiles this week. Tuesday morning, the day of the All-Star game, he found out he was going to replace an injured Evan Longoria at 8 a.m. Yeah, it was game day, so he caught the next flight to St. Louis. It was delayed a little bit because Air Force One was landing. Eventually, he lands, gets a police escort, and he gets to the clubhouse at 6:30 local time. He can't get in because the president's in there. So Secret Service is like, all right, hold on, dude. We're not letting anybody in and nobody out. Eventually, he gets introduced. He said even though he didn't play, it was the biggest thrill of his baseball life, obviously. And I said, listen, you just go meet the president some other time. I'm sure you'll run into him some point down the road. He said, you know what, maybe when we win it all, I can go with 24 other guys, and then we'll all get to shake his hand.
Well, plus, Chris, if you're Sean Figgins, I mean, he's just a little guy. There's a line drive, and that's going to be a base hit, and that's going to bring Figgins home for the third run. But you figure Sean Figgins walks up and says, hey, I'm an all-star, let me in. What would you do if you're the security guard, right?
Hey, I don't care if you were 6'6", you weren't getting in there.
That's exactly right.
Listen, buddy, I was out there. You know, I was trying my damnedest to get back there. They said, listen, we're on lockdown, pal. You stay exactly where you are. And I was like, thank you. I'll just stand here. That's fine.
Well, you think about Figgins thinking, is this really happening? I mean, I just got the call this morning. This really cannot be happening.
Oh, that's good stuff. He made it just in time to get to the foul line and get introduced. First All-Star appearance. That's a drive by Rivera to left, and it is off the wall. Bobby Abreu's going to stop at third, and Rivera is going to have a double. So the Angels flexing their muscles here in the third. They've already scored 2, and they got second and third with 1 out.
We mentioned some good hitters, guys picking it up like Morales, but Juan Rivera has been one of the hottest RBI men in the American League over the last month and a half. And don't take anything from granted for that man right there. Bobby Abreu himself, he has been outstanding.
Pitching coach Kurt Young has come to the mound to talk to Vin Mazaro. So if you look at what the Angels have done this year, Jose, a very good offensive team. Really, Vladimir Guerrero has not played hardly at all.
That's right. You mentioned you know, having Hunter out, who is tied with Kendrick Morales with 17 home runs to lead the team. And Guerrero only 4 home runs this year. He missed earlier time with a torn pectoral muscle. But overall, it seems like every single year the challenges presented to Mike Scioscia and the Angels organization are covered within. And at one point it was Rivera and Morales. Then you get a guy like, even a guy like Meister Sturris stepping up and getting big hits for you.
Well, that's a very deep roster, and I think it's really showed this year with the names that you just threw out there. But you have to give the Angels credit as well. I think they made a decision on Garrett Anderson. Let's go in a different direction. They signed Bobby Abreu for a much cheaper number, and quite frankly, Bobby Abreu has been a much better player this year for the Angels than Garrett Anderson has been for the Braves.
You're absolutely right.
If there's any doubt about that. Anderson is having a decent year. Started out slow, but 6 homers, 34 RBIs for Garrett Anderson. Bobby Abreu, 59 RBIs. And I think there's some intangibles with Bobby Abreu as well.
He brings a lot to the table when it comes down to attitude, leadership. A guy that's prepared to play every single day. He can steal bases for you.
And that's not a criticism of Garrett Anderson. Absolutely. It's just the fact that at this point in their careers, I think probably Bobby Abreu is a better player.
Yeah, Garrett was tremendous.
Yeah, he was terrific. One of the greats. And that's why those decisions are tough to make. If the Angels let him go, signed Abreu, and it's certainly worked out well. Bases are loaded after an intentional walk, and Mike Napoli takes a strike. Well, Mazaro is looking for a double play. Napoli struck out in the second inning. That one's looped to right. Cuss coming in. He's not going to get it. Abreu will score, and the bases will remain loaded as Rivera stops at third. So Mike Napoli, he's so strong, even if he gets jammed, he can get it over the infield, and that's what he did. So Napoli picks up his 34th RBI. It's now 4-0 Angels.
Yeah, the fastball that was in for Napoli, but again, it's just not running enough for Mazaro, who can really make a run, but look how flat it stays. And because of that, Napoli is able to connect with enough authority to get over Ellis's head. We go back to the same thing. It would have been a great opportunity to try less.
Get it to sink a little bit. Gary Matthews Jr. steps in. He takes the first pitch strike. So 3 runs in for the Angels, and they are not done yet. Still just 1 out. They have 5 hits in this inning alone. Just off the plate. Rivera is at third. Morales at second. Napoli at first. Mazaro has walked 1 and struck out 3 so far. Matt Holliday coming in. Rivera's going to tag. Holliday has it. Rivera's coming to the plate. The throw is there, and it's dropped by Powell, and Rivera scores. Looked like Landon Powell stepped forward to catch it in the air, but he did not catch it cleanly. He dropped it,
which made his hands stiffen up. A great throw by Matt Holliday on the money. And also, you have a guy barreling down on you, and I think another thing that Powell did is he was looking at Rivera, anticipating perhaps contact at the plate, and is not able to secure the ball. It's a play that you have to make.
So the ruling, Jose, is an error 2. No sacrifice fly. But the run does obviously come in to score, so it's 5-0.
It's not a play you see on a regular basis either.
Here's Eric Ibar. Well, I think as a catcher, you do the right thing trying to step up and catch it on the fly, but you have to make sure you catch it. And it was pretty evident if he does catch it that Rivera's out at the plate. Swing and a miss by Eric Ibar, so it's quickly 0-2.
Mazaro's had some ugly swings on a couple of lefties. It stirs a couple of strikeouts, and that one on Ibar. And now it comes down to the confidence of being able to repeat that pitch on the regular basis. He has the stuff, absolutely has good stuff.
That's a base hit to right field by Ibar. 1 run's going to score. Napoli to the plate, and he will score. It's a 2-run single for Eric Ibar, and the Angels have busted it open here in the top of the 3rd. It's now 7-0. It is a quiet A's bullpen up until now. There will be action.
Tough go, especially for the guy behind the plate, where he knows this inning could have turned out differently. And just as you have growing pains running the bases, hitting on the mound, also behind the plate.
Reggie Willits, and Ibar takes off. The throw to second base. It hits Ibar by Giambi, and he's going to get to second base. So the A's defense has fallen apart here in the 3rd inning.
Not a great running play, but making the most out of a negative. Eric Ibar stopped. He went too early on the attempted steal. And then last night, watch Ibar as he slides and takes a leg from Orlando Cabrera right to the side of the head. Eventually had to come out of the game with dizziness.
Reggie Willits pops one up. Holliday coming in. He collides with Cabrera, and he hangs on to it. Matt Holliday has it in his glove, and that's how the top of the 3rd ends. 6 runs for the Angels. In the top of the third inning, Mazzaro did not get much help from his defense. Rob Quinlan comes in the game, and he will play left field, so Juan Rivera is out of the ball game. And when we hear the reason for it, we will pass it on. So Juan Rivera is out. Rob Quinlan is in. Quinlan is hitting now in the cleanup spot and playing left field. Top of the order for the A's. They got a lot of work to do. Adam Kennedy to the right side, but a nice play by Mesiris Turez for the first out here in the bottom of the third.
Rivera recently missed a couple of games with tightness in his left quad and his right hamstring, so Mike Scioscia probably saw some things as he's running the base pass there in that inning.
Shortstop, number 18, Orlando Cabrera.
He just may see a 7-0 lead and maybe being a little bit careful with that situation that kept Rivera out of a couple of games. Nobody looks too concerned about it. Cabrera on the first pitch, skies one shallow right as Turez has it, and that's 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the third.
Glenn, as you know very well, good day for pop-ups here in the Bay Area, where usually that high sky is a major problem for fielders, but today got a few clouds, got some depth, and that makes it so much easier.
Yeah, there's your cloud cover, and you're right, that makes a huge difference. The right field can be a tough spot. So 2 outs for Matt Holliday. Holliday walked in the first inning. The A's have committed 3 errors in the ball game. And the Angels, as good teams do, have taken advantage of it. Holliday drives one deep to left. It is foul. So Matt Holliday, a long foul ball.
Talking to Matt earlier, he says timing is everything I want right now, and he barely misses this one. Wrapped around just a bit with his hands, but he's getting to a point now where that leg lift that is so important to him is at a point, as he was telling me, that he feels that he can land early and just wait. And sometimes we have a leg lift like that, so pronounced. It creates a lot of problems, so you're better off lifting it early, landing early, and then reading the pitch. Easier said than done.
But you're right, I've heard a lot of hitters say when they're struggling, guys who have the leg lift, is you're right, they don't get the leg down in time. So everything starts slower and fastballs get by.
It starts slower and everything gets faster because you can't read pitches and you can't catch up with good fastballs.
Interesting note on Matt Holliday. Look at the difference in average and slugging percentage from his time at Coors Field and away from Coors Field.
A big difference of numbers.
A huge difference. 190 points. Little pop-up behind first as Turez dives. He can't get it. Bounces off of him, and Holliday's going to have a double. So it's going to be a bloop double for Matt Holliday. And that's the second hit for the A's.
Sturridge has to go a long ways. And when you see a guy pull a ball like that foul, usually you're leaning in that direction. You never anticipate a guy defending the outer half and just punching it the other way. But to Matt Holliday's credit, anything close, he was defending. Protect the plate.
Well, there's those numbers again, Ray. So Jose, you're talking about 367 and 280, the difference in home road batting average. And the slugging percentage numbers. Swing and a miss on a big curve. It just seems like those numbers are so pronounced that it does make you wonder how much did Coors Field help Matt Holliday. And I know he doesn't want to hear that, and I don't think anybody who played there for an extended period of time wants to hear it. But those are big differences.
You cannot hide them, and that is one reason why people right now are wondering more about what is his real value. And I don't want to take anything away from him. He's a quality hitter.
No question about it.
There's no doubt. This guy works hard. He puts up the numbers. He told me earlier today, I'm not even reading the internet, no newspapers, nothing. Because, I mean, my name's out there every single day. But we still need to see him perform at least close to the level where he was being compared to the Teixeiras and company.
No question.
Throughout baseball. Have not seen that yet this year.
1-1 to Cust. He fouls it back. And those numbers are over a 5-year period. So that's a plenty big sample size as well. And I think scouts I think Major League scouts are very confused with Matt Holliday right now. Which guy is it?
Well, it comes down to,
do we want him? Do we trade a couple good prospects for him?
What are you going to give up for him? And
Exactly.
then what happens in the future as a free agent? We're talking about two types of values here: talent and open market.
Just a bit inside to Cust. But I mean, you're right. There was a time from maybe 04 to 07 or 05 to 07, Matt Holliday, as good as any player and as dangerous as any offensive player, certainly in the National League and probably all of baseball. I mean, look at the 07 numbers: 340 and 36 home runs. Cust hits one high and foul.
You throw all that away and you talk to his former teammates in Colorado, and they talk about the quality guy.
Terrific guy, yeah.
What he brings in the clubhouse, how he pumps up the younger guys. Let's not forget that nice run by the Rockies back then.
Yeah.
He was a face in the middle of everything.
And he also turned down a very lucrative contract extension from the Rockies. And he was traded to the A's this offseason. Cust lays off that pitch in the dirt. So it's a full count. So we'll see what happens with Matt Holliday. Billy Beane, very fine general manager for the Oakland A's. So not afraid to make a trade, but he's going to want a lot, and I don't think he has a problem hanging on to Matt Holliday. And if he leaves as a free agent, take the draft picks at the end of the year. That is a very strong possibility what the A's may do. Payoff pitch to Cust, and he hits it hard, and it's into right field, a base hit. Matt Holliday around third. He's going to come in to score, and the A's are on the board with the RBI single from Jack Cust.
He's watching Cust take the pitch before this one. He was centered on something off speed, either the curveball by Weaver or the changeup. Is able to connect, stay right on the ball, and he would have been more susceptible to the fastball inside. But Weaver needs to make that pitch, and that's fine. That's just somebody beat you with your best stuff. Nothing wrong with that.
So it's now a 7-1 game. Cust picks up his 45th RBI of the year, and that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki hit a fly ball to right field to end the first inning. Takes a strike in the outside corner. And I always felt like, in talking about the Matt Holliday situation, he's an asset for the Athletics. Whatever you do with him, he is an asset. And good general managers take advantage of having an asset like that.
Use it right.
Yeah, that's right. You know. Sure, Billy Beane will do that. Suzuki pops out, side retired. Jack Cust with an RBI single, and the A's are on the board.
goes. Yeah.
The race is on. He's only got so much time to get third base, turn around, get back out to the outfield. And I think the youngster pulled it off.
He got it done.
Top of the fourth inning, the Angels with a 7-1 lead. And Vin Mazzaro faces the top of the Angels order. Sean Figgins has done his job at the top. Jared Weaver taking advantage of those 7 runs. 3-1 to Figgins. A home run and a single and a couple of runs scored for Sean Figgins. So Figgins has been very good against the Athletics this year, and it continues again today, and he's got a leadoff walk. So there's going to be movement out in the A's bullpen soon, I would imagine, as Mazzaro continues to struggle. Well, Fox Sports is proud to support the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. The Michael J. Fox Foundation's goal is to drive the development of better treatments and cure for Parkinson's disease. To learn more, please visit michaeljfox.org. The walk to Figgins, the second walk issued by Mazzaro, and now he faces Mycerius Turris.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Here's where you go, Glenn. I'm sorry. Where he struck out Sturridge twice with very good breaking balls. Who adjusts first? Will Mazzaro try to change his approach, or will his Sturridge take advantage of something early in the count?
Mazzaro has, and we've seen it with the Sturridge, he has a very good slider. It is a strikeout pitch. Edgar Gonzalez, he's the long reliever for the Athletics. He starts to throw. Figgins, a good lead, as he always seems to get that pitch outside. So now it's 3-0. So the struggles continue for Vin Mazzaro. Is in there too, as Sturris. Bobby Abreu waits in the on-deck circle. Single run in the first for the Angels and 6 in the third. And that one's thrown away by Mazzaro. Figgins is going to get to second, and he's not going to stop. He's going to go to third, and he will make it. Another error by the Athletics. It was sort of an unorthodox pickoff move by Mazzaro. Looked like his feet got tangled up a little bit.
Here it is again. Threw a sinker out there, and then Mazzaro's responsibility is to get from there to here. He needs to be backing up third base on that throw by Giambi.
So a physical mistake and a mental mistake by Vin Mazzaro. And now the runner's at third, infield in. And that's a line drive to center field. The base hit from Mycerius Turris. Figgins comes in to score. It's 8-1. And on that, let's check in with Chris Rose. Chris?
All right, guys. Well, there is Rajai Davis. You saw him a little bit earlier what he did last night, scoring the go-ahead run on a pickoff attempt by Joe Saunders. Now, they actually timed him last night 11 seconds to get from first base all the way to home. And, of course, there's no other stadium in which this happens because of the huge foul territory. Joe Saunders with the errant pickoff attempt last night. I saw Joe earlier today. I said you would have been better off just throwing it in the stands. At least you would have kept him on third base.
That's a good point. You're right. We got a pitching change. Edgar Gonzalez is coming in. It's 8-1 Angels. here in the 4th inning. Still nobody out, a run in. The Angels have an 8-1 lead as Edgar Gonzalez takes over for Vin Mazzaro. Gonzalez is the A's long reliever. First pitch to Bobby Abreu is outside.
26-year-old from Monterrey, Mexico. At one point, a very promising career was awaiting him with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's been up and down the big leagues in the last 6 years.
Zantek relief pitcher profile on Edgar Gonzalez. And he was from what I remember, part of the future for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The numbers so far this year: 0-1 with a 5.02 ERA, or 5.01 ERA, excuse me. Gonzalez has made a couple of starts for the Athletics, fill-in starts.
It's one of those guys that throughout the years, also Billy Beane, as you would know very well, Glenn, has found success signing 6-year free agent minor leaguers. And opportunities are always here in Oakland. They give you a chance to go ahead and grow up with it. I go back to Matt Stayers and Geronimo Baroa. I mean, these names of guys that pretty much were put aside by so many other organizations. Matt Stayers still playing and contributing.
They don't necessarily need to be stars, but pretty significant contributors.
Then you go to Jack Cust himself. Who was rescued from the minor league organization, put in the big leagues, and has produced for the A's.
Nobody wanted to give Jack Cust a chance to play every day, and the A's have done that, and he has responded in the last couple of years. Off the plate to Bobby Abreu, so it's a full count. Abreu is lined out to center field and singled in a run in the 3rd. So full count, nobody out. We'll see if Izturis takes off. He does, and Abreu hits one right toward the bag at second. Cabrera steps on the bag and throws to first, and that's a double play. And a very nice play by Orlando Cabrera. So just like that, 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Well, next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Joe Mauer leads the Twins into Anaheim to take on these Angels, or Albert Pujols and the Cardinals battle the Phillies in a possible playoff preview. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Pepsi returns next week at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game time and the start time in your area. Rob Quidlin's first at bat. It's a bouncer to second. Side retired. A run for the Angels. Bottom of the 4th coming up. It's 8-1 Los Angeles. the Athletics as Jared Weaver back to work. Faces Jason Giambi. The first pitch, Giambi, a line drive to right field for a base hit. Well, just moments ago, we had a chance to talk to Angels pitching coach Mike Butcher. Well, Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, joins us. And Mike, Jared Weaver, certainly a nice cushion. How much do you want your guys to just stay the course, even though he's pitching with a big lead?
We wanted to get, stay aggressive, get early strikes, get early outs. He's got a high pitch count right now. Hopefully he, I think last inning kind of found his little groove going there. He's not feeling too well actually, but sick-wise, but he's plugging along. Hopefully we get some quick outs for him.
Mike, what has been the most challenging part for you as a pitching coach for the Angels here in 09?
Where do you want me to start? It's been a very trying year with injuries and the tragedies, and it just we're just going one day at a time, trying to stay on our course and stay mentally focused. And I guess that's the biggest challenge, excuse me, is just keeping our guys focused and just taking it one day at a time.
All right, thanks, Mike. Good luck the rest of the year.
You got it. Thank you.
Well, Ryan Sweeney called out on strikes for the first out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Good pitch by Jared Weaver right on the inside corner. So that's the third strikeout for Jared Weaver. Well, interesting stuff from Mike Butcher. Well, if you look at numbers from last year compared to this year, third best ERA in the American League last year, most wins by the starting rotation. And they only used 7 starters last year. This year, the Angels have used 12 starters already, and their team ERA is 12. So really, the offense has been carrying this team, but yet you look at the names in the rotation, and these are quality yes. pitchers. So you really feel like there's no reason why this Angels rotation can't do big things in the second half.
And they should come to form. When you consider Saunders has not pitched as well, John Lackey is just finding his groove. Irvin Santana has been up and down, but at some point he should get back on track. The biggest challenge right now, really, if you look at it, is the bullpen.
Yeah.
And getting to Brian Fuentes. You have the arms out there, you have experience, but they need somebody to step up to take that one slot created when Scott Shields went down with an injury. And Jose Arredondo, who right now is in the minor leagues, did not respond as well to the challenge of pitching in the big leagues this year.
Yeah, you going into the season, you're thinking about, okay, you signed Fuentes, he's a very good closer. And then you have Shields and Arredondo, 2 terrific setup men. And those guys are gone. And you may get Arredondo back, but well, you just never know how things can change from what you think you're going to have in spring training to what ends up happening as the year goes on. But I think you could ask any baseball, whatever, executive, general manager, announcer, player, if you said the Angels are going to have a very poor bullpen this year, they would have said no way. Because when they've been good for 7-8 years, it's always their staple, a good, strong bullpen.
Mike Scioscia's teams throughout the years have had somebody stall 7, 8, and 9.
Landon Powell with his second hit as he hits it hard past Kendry Morales. Well, a very emotional day here at the Coliseum, Jose. This was the ceremonial first pitch. John Wilhite, who's very good friends with catcher Kurt Suzuki, and he was the lone survivor in the crash that unfortunately took 3 lives, including Nick Adenhart. And John Wilhite getting better out of the hospital, and it was a very touching moment. You saw the Angels players out in front of the dugout before the game.
Just to watch him walk and to see him just alive and smiling and talking to him is just a blessing to see that, because really you think about the victims, Henry Pearson, Courtney Stewart, Nick Adenhart, and the Suzuki's taking the initiative to say we need to do something for our friend, and so many teams throughout baseball contributing, and it continues throughout this weekend. As in fact, tomorrow we're going to be hosting in the booth auction winners for this cause that want to see a couple of innings in the booth. And you know what, Suzuki and Orlando Cabrera and his wife Katie, the Angels organization with Team Mead and company just absolutely made it so much easier for Suzuki and company and for the Wilhites, and what an outstanding young man.
Mark Ellis gets jammed. Morales ranging far to his right. He'll get the out at second base. So that's 2 outs. The A's now have runners at first and third as Ellis reaches on the fielder's choice.
Plus, he went to Cal State Fullerton.
That's right.
He's a Titan.
Good guys there, huh, from what I hear?
Now batting.
Don't look this way.
Third baseman, number
But in the case of Kurt Suzuki, he was teammates with John Willite. Kurt was a junior on the Cal State Fullerton team. John Willite was a freshman, and they became friends. So it's obviously very close to the heart of Kurt Suzuki. But we wish John Willite all the best. He's come a long way in his rehab. He looks great. And the A's, the Angels, all coming together, doing great things for the Willite family. So we wish John all the best of luck. Top of the order, Adam Kennedy. Chance to drive in a run with 2 outs. A big curve in just a little bit low. We all know the sadness surrounding Nick Adenhart, but there was a sad moment here in Oakland as well. That's OPD, the Oakland Police Department. 4 Oakland police officers were shot dead in the middle of March. And all 4 of those gentlemen were officers that worked here at the Oakland Coliseum, across the way where the Golden State Warriors play. They worked basketball games. We actually got to know some of those guys. So a very sad moment for the Bay Area. So the patch and the Angels are Preston Gomez. That's a base hit for Adam Kennedy. And Jason Giambi is going to come in to score. And Mark Ellis is going to go to third. So a 2-out hit for Adam Kennedy. And the A's have their second run. It's 8-2.
Adam Kennedy really has been brilliant in a fill-up role for the Oakland A's and playing third base where he had never played before, but his bat is still alive. And after a couple of tough years in St. Louis, it is good to see Adam Kennedy come to form. He should be a contributor here, not just this year, but in the future too here with the A's. Great approach to hitting, always line drive hitter up the middle. Great balance. Had a 300-year with the Angels a few years back.
Yeah, he's been a huge addition for the Athletics, and you're right. I think he's part of their future. Hopefully he'll be a free agent at the end of the year, so the A's will have to pay to keep him, but it may be worth it. I would say Angels fans probably got a soft spot in their heart for Adam Kennedy.
Forever.
Pretty good.
He's got that
got
quiet
a ring to show for it too.
And he's got, you know what? He brings quiet intensity in the clubhouse, on the field. He's not afraid to approach a guy, a young player or a veteran player, and get on the same page. Let's do it now. And I'm glad he's open to playing third base, and that should have really extended his career.
1-0 to Orlando Cabrera, their former Angel. Remember this moment, Jose? Game 6 of the 2002 American League Championship Series. 3 home runs by Adam Kennedy, and the Angels a huge comeback in that game, and they were headed to the World Series.
Last one against Johan Santana after a failed sacrifice attempt. How about that?
Cabrera drives one to left. Quinlan back, and that is going to be off the wall. Ellis will score. They'll stop Kennedy at third. So a little 2-out noise from the A's as Cabrera has an RBI double.
Getting too much of the plate on that pitch by Weaver, and Cabrera taking a nice flat swing through the strike zone. We talk about guys at Holiday. They can contribute and perhaps be traded. Orlando Cabrera's name has surfaced a lot lately. Here's a guy that, I mean, he took it upon himself to take pressure off so many people in Boston back in 2004. And he has appeared in 4 postseasons in the last 5 years.
And what Cabrera is doing right now is Darren Oliver, the left-hander, starts to loosen up for the Angels. Cabrera's been red hot. So now scouts are seeing him as the deadline gets closer, and they're seeing a hot hitter. Well, he immediately becomes more attractive.
Can't go wrong with somebody like him. He's a 2-time Gold Glover who brings a lot to the table.
So Matt Holliday, a base hit here, and the A's are right back in the game. It's 8-3. Weaver's first pitch to Holliday, a fastball right there at the knees.
This is a big at-bat for Holliday and for Weaver both. Holliday, number one, he wants to be able to contribute big time with his team. The runners are on base, and Weaver to make an adjustment down in the zone.
So Kennedy is the runner at third, Cabrera at second. The A's have 4 hits in the inning and a couple of runs off Weaver. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, mentioned the pitch count. It's at 86 for Weaver, so he may be running out of gas just a little bit. A high pitch count, and we're just in the 4th inning. Holliday to center field, and that's going to drop for a hit. 1 run scores. Cabrera coming home. He's going to score. It's a 2-run single for Matt Holliday, and just like that, it's 8-5. RBIs 46 and 47 for Holliday.
And the big man comes through again, really making it a lot easier for himself. We talk about the timing device, landing, recognizing the pitch, and not trying to do too much, which happens a lot to a player of his caliber when he is with a new ball club. Look at that foot down on time. Hits a very good pitch down in the zone.
So 4 runs for the Athletics here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, Jack Cust will step in. Three straight 2-out hits. Cust takes a bit outside. A walk and an RBI single this afternoon for Cust. Matt Holliday takes off, pitches outside, and that's a stolen base for Holliday. That's the 2nd stolen base in the game for the Athletics. And 6 steals now in the last 2 games by the A's.
Bob Guerin, you have found something. Let them run.
So Holliday in scoring position, and Cust in a hitter's count at 2-0. And now 3-0. Kurt Suzuki in the on-deck circle. Cust is the 8th man to hit in the inning. Outside corner strike.
Talked about this earlier. For the A's, stay in attack mode, and that is also counterproductive against Jared Weaver right now. He needs to stay attacking the zone. He's falling behind now. Repeating that changeup is very important, but he has to, as he repeat the changeup, change locations with it.
Off the plate, and it's a walk. So Kurt Suzuki will hit, and Mike Scioscia has seen enough. So Darren Oliver's coming in to face Suzuki with 2 on and 2 out here in the 4th. Bullpen here in the 4th inning. Darren Oliver, the veteran left-hander, comes on. Another good season for Oliver. Now 38 years old. Well, Jared Weaver had lots of runs to work with. But here in the 4th inning, gave up 5 hits, a walk, and the A's have got themselves back in the game. So Oliver will try to end this inning. Who's that guy? He looks familiar.
There's father, Bob Oliver, former Angel, and they used to call him the cat around first base in that bag.
First pitch to Kurt Suzuki is a strike. There's Bob Oliver.
Gets a chance to visit with Darren anytime the Angels are around the Bay Area. Came up through the Pirates as a teammate of my father, Manny, and always same stories you hear from my dad is from Bob Clemente and company.
Probably pretty good stories as well. But Darren Oliver does his job. He gets Suzuki to ground out, but the A's score 4 times. It's 8-5. Offensively, 8-5. The Angels with the lead. 18 hits in the game combined. 4 errors, all made by the Athletics. But we got a ball game.
Huge responsibility on the man on the mound to keep his offense on the upside.
Kendry Morales, a big swing. He fouls it back. Morales, Napoli, and Matthews against Edgar Gonzalez. Morales a single and a walk, and he scored a run. So he is 4 for 8 in the series with a couple of home runs.
Really matured as a hitter. I mean, he's finally getting opportunity to play every single day, but you see at bat to at bat adjustments.
Like that. A line single to center field. So Kendry Morales, a leadoff hit. And let's check in with Chris Rose, who's downstairs. Chris?
All right, Glenn, time for a DirecTV game break to the south side of Chicago. Alexi Ramirez, Ty Wigginton. Boy, this is a problem. All right, so next bet. Yeah, my bad. How bad do you feel after this? The former A, Jermaine Dye, with his 21st of the year, 6 straight 20-plus homer season. 4-1 Chi Sox in the 7th. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team only on DirecTV. Back to Glenn and Jose, who never dropped the ball, unlike Ty.
Many times.
We got some time left, Chris.
That's why I'm up here now, Chris.
We're only in the 5th. Well, White Sox look up and they see that the Tigers have lost. So if the White Sox can hang on and win that game, they would cut another game off that Tiger lead in the AL Central. It could be 1.5. Twins are hanging around.
Don't forget about the Twins.
Yeah.
Year in and year out, no matter who goes. Johan Santana and Torrey Hunter, they are always in there.
Twins are 2.5 back now with that Detroit loss. Twins will be in Texas tonight for second game of that series. Napoli goes around and a pitch in the dirt, 1-2.
Gonzalez, good sinker. Still trying to refine that changeup. Has a pretty good breaking ball. He's not going to throw it by you. But he can definitely create a lot of deception if he pitches inside and trusts that move of that sinker.
Napoli hits one very high. Tough sun for Sweeney, but he gets the glove up with the glasses. Makes the catch. Morales is going to go to second, so that's very good base running by Kendry Morales on the long out. So Napoli is retired. So the A's trailed in this game 8-1. It's now 8-5. They have overcome a 4-run deficit twice this year, have the Athletics.
And today they did something not very many teams, Glenn, have done during the daytime. Jared Weaver came in with a 1.80 ERA pitching in the daylight. And they really just took advantage of every single opportunity. They executed a good plan hitting wise against Weaver.
Here's Gary Matthews Jr. Takes a fastball for a strike. Matthews is 1 for 2. And in the series, he's 2 for 9. So 0-2 the count. Angels will keep an eye on that Twins Texas Rangers game starting a little bit later on. For the Rangers, that's a 6-game homestand to start the second half. Blocked by Landon Powell. In fact, I was looking at the Rangers schedule, Jose, and right out of the break, 13 of their first 16 at home. So they got an advantage there. But in the last couple months of the season, they play a lot of road games.
We know what happens at home. They are explosive.
Yeah.
But you know what? To their credit, they have been able to create a lot of offense away from that ballpark. Because of Ron Washington and the pitching has been really outstanding. You got players like Nelson Cruz with 20-plus homers and Hank Blaylock on a comeback here. Josh Hamilton's back. So, you know, I know many people perhaps didn't think they were going to be around that close around this time of year, but it's no accident. They have done a very nice job developing young pitchers, staying with them, pushing their pitchers a little bit more too.
And that may be the most important thing. 2-2 to Gary Matthews Jr. And that one drops low. Scott Feldman is going to pitch tonight for the Texas Rangers, and he's a perfect example. He's 8-2. I think the Rangers, to me, they seem to be a different team this year than the one in years past, which got late in the year. The pitching wasn't very good. The pitching's pretty good this year, and I think they're a team that will stick around.
And you cannot take a break on that lineup. From Michael Young to Kinsler to Saltalamacchia, Marlon Byrd, what a contributor.
And quite frankly, the Angels have had a very difficult time with the Rangers so far this year. Texas has won 7 of the 9 games against the Angels. Mark Ellis charges, flips to first. So that's the second out.
Well, so far Gonzalez mixing it very well. And if we take a look at how he approached Gary Matthews with the man at second base, here it is. Set that fastball away. Show something inside with a cut fastball. A different look with a wrinkle. And keep throwing it until you get him to think that. He slowed his bat down big time because he showed him a couple of breaking balls in the middle of the at-bat. It's good pitching.
Well, Edgar Gonzalez has a little Livan Hernandez in it. He'll throw it slow, and then maybe a little slower, and then he'll drop down, and he'll frisbee one up there, and he's got 4 or 5 different things he'll do. Jumps ahead in the count 0-1 to Eric Ibar. Centurions make that Ibar swing and a miss. Adam Kennedy was playing way in on the grass, and now with 2 strikes he backs up to the edge of the grass.
Giambi also at first base is able to get back to that position, get more coverage, and Kennedy was practically right in this spot earlier.
0-2 to Ibar. Toward left field, Matt Holliday coming in. He's got it, and that will do it. So Matt Holliday got a good jump, made the catch, and the Angels do not score.
Oakland, where the Angels lead the A's 8-5 in the 5th, but time right now for a DirecTV game break, a little AL East action. Let's take you up north to the border. Adam Lind, 22 homers in his career in his first 3 seasons, 20 this year. Blue Jays take care of business 6-2. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team only on DirecTV. Glenn?
Thanks, Chris. Jason Giambi leading it off. Giambi, Sweeney, and Powell against Darren Oliver. Oliver came in and got the final out in the 4th inning. Giambi hits one very high to center. Matthews back, shading his eyes near the warning track. He's got it, and that's the first out. Fox Saturday Baseball is presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball.
Number 15, Ryan Sweeney.
Jose Mota, Glenn Kuiper at the Oakland Coliseum. Fox Saturday Baseball brought to you by Pepsi. Very, very nice day for a ball game. Ryan Sweeney has a couple of strikeouts today, one looking, one swinging.
Oliver serves so many roles for Mike Scioscia, and he can go 2-3 innings for you. In fact, he made a start for the Angels earlier this season. Against lefties, 283 they hit against him. And the right is at 269.
Yeah, he's valuable. Well, here's today's Gillette Power Trivia question. Who was the last Athletics player to win the batting title?
I think we're going to go way back, right?
Well,
way back.
It's possible. It could be an Oakland A, it could be a Kansas City A, it could be a Philadelphia A.
In other words, yeah.
A's have been here in Oakland since 1968. See if we go back further than that. Hit hard, but just fouled down the third baseline. There's more to our trivia question than just maybe a little history lesson. It has a little bit to do with the Oakland Coliseum and the configuration. Lots of foul territory, folks, more than any other ballpark in baseball. And we think it affects the hitters negatively. In fact, I don't think there's any question that it does.
I can tell you mathematically, Glenn, from down here, it does affect them, because since 1968, players are hitting only 249 in this ballpark, whereas the rest of the average in Major League parks, it's 261.
Numbers usually don't lie, so that's 2 outs, but you're right. It is huge all the way down toward the bullpens.
Where's Chris?
I'm over here. I'm on the first. Can you see me? I'm next to my buddy Zach, right? We're over here hanging out. I am a good 79 feet from first base. Whereas if you go down to Anaheim, down in Angel Stadium, it's about 30 to 35 feet from the dugout area to first base. So you're talking about less than half, but I swear that Glenn and Jose, I can make it from here to first base in less than 7 seconds.
Hey,
I guarantee you.
They were talking to me earlier about a second ball boy. If you volunteer for that,
Yeah, right.
get your glove.
Well, I got this one.
That's you.
See what I'm talking about?
I was this close. This close.
So you walk from where you're at to first base, or even let's say you walk from there down to the bullpen. I mean, you may need a bench to take a break.
Well, I'm telling you, for my post-game interview, I am going to expense the cab ride to Fox to get out there to the middle of the diamond, because there's no way I'm walking it.
You're so accurate, too. 79, not 80, 83.
Hey, you know what? We're in an exact business here, Jose. You know that. We're all about measurements here at Fox. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. You guys know that.
0-2 to Landon Powell. Well, I think, too, Chris, we're all about comfort here at Fox. And I got to tell you, I watched you last week down in Anaheim where it was very hot and you had the tie on. And I think you look much more comfortable, more relaxed. And I think it shows in your work this week.
Thanks. I want to thank you guys for suggesting the polos instead of the suit and tie for the broadcast. It's usually Eric Karros every week is telling our producer, put Rose in a suit and tie. And last week, I was sweating it. Like it was 110 on the field. I felt like I was broadcasting from Afghanistan.
Yeah, you look nice in blue, but it's the polo that really, I think, does you.
It's very slimming.
It's all about comfort.
All-star Chris Rose. How about that experience for you, huh?
It was good. It was great. I mean, you know, St. Louis is the perfect city to have that in. They really embrace just about anything baseball, but to have the 80th Major League Baseball All-Star game there was fantastic. It was a great, great game, too. Those guys that were swinging at first pitches like they had to be somewhere. I think there were a half dozen half innings in which the pitch count was under 10.
231 for a player, Chris, I must tell you, always sounds good game time. And
yeah,
no
I think we've already passed that, haven't we? Here?
Yeah,
Almost.
and no Mark Burley either.
I know, at half inning, yeah. All right, this one I've got.
Yeah, you got to make this play.
Listen, if you guys want me to change into my spikes, I will grab this.
At least get a glove.
That's still not going to help me. You guys haven't seen me play much, obviously.
So a good battle here between Darren Oliver and Landon Powell. And Powell a single and a double this afternoon. Both those hits came left-handed, batting right-handed, and here gets the walk. So talking about the All-Star game, which Chris was in attendance. Very special moment. President Obama. First pitch, the lefty. And nice and casual jeans. He's a White Sox guy through and through as well.
Threw a good changeup. Nice framing by Albert Pujols.
Well, they always say if you're throwing out the first pitch, just don't throw it in the dirt.
And how refreshing just to hear the stories tying in, as Chris was talking about, with Sean Figgins and the timeline and not being able to land and then not being able to go into the clubhouse.
You guys thought he was upset. How about Torrey Hunter, who was supposed to go to the game, but because of the injury, had to go spend some time with his family in Dallas instead. So he was watching the whole thing unfold in front of his eyes, and he couldn't believe it. He's like, I had a chance to meet the president, and I'm sitting here in Dallas.
Well, I mean, and you got to give the president credit. He's obviously a big sports fan, but I know he walked up to the A's lone representative, who's a rookie, Andrew Bailey. Not a lot of guys know who Andrew Bailey is. He's a rookie, and he said, "Yeah, you're the young guy." He said, "Well, there's a lot of young guys here." No, you're the rookie. You're the rookie, Andrew Bailey. He knew exactly that Bailey was a rookie, and he knew his name. And Andrew Bailey was absolutely thrilled that the president not only knew who he was, but knew that he was the young guy, the rookie. So there's a moment that I'm sure Andrew Bailey will never forget.
What an arm that young man has.
Yeah. Mark Ellis down the right field line, and now it's a full count. So,
and where is Torrey Hunter? It's birthday boy, Torrey Hunter. Happy birthday. We'll see you and get more opportunities. There's other ways in which you can meet the president.
Powell takes off. Ball hit slowly down the third base line, but foul. But what a year Torrey Hunter was having, though, huh? I mean, he was maybe an MVP candidate.
Having a great year, and you know, he's now talking about perhaps playing the wall a little bit smarter, according to the score, and he's always been a full-out, let me go grab it. I mean, the Gold Gloves speaks for themselves, but at some point in your career, you're going to have to take a step back and consider the score and the situation of the game and the dimensions.
See
guys, I talked with,
there is on that wall. Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, I was just saying I would talk with Torrey before the game. He said he hopes to be back by August 1st. They activated off the DL. In the meantime, he's going to enjoy his 34th birthday.
Ibar, the shortstop, goes out, tracks it down, and side is retired. A's do not score. President Obama at the All-Star game. Big moments for a lot of players. by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. And by Gillette Hydra Scrub Body Wash, a powerful clean without dry skin. And by Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family. Beautiful look at downtown Oakland as we are at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. It's the A's and the Angels. As it's the Angels with an 8-5 lead as we have reached the top of the 6th inning. Well, we gave you our Gillette Power Trivia question, and here's the answer. Who was the last athletic player to win a batting title? Indeed, Jose, we're going back. Ferris Fain in 1952, and that was with the Philadelphia Athletics. Ferris Fain. And the A's have had some pretty good hitters here over the years since they arrived in '68, but maybe there's something to that foul ground. And
yeah, many of them put their heads down and start walking towards the dugout when they hit a foul ball.
So Reggie Willits will lead off here in the 6th inning. What you figure if you play 81 games here at the Coliseum? What do you think? Maybe I'm just guessing. Maybe 8 or 10 outs, maybe more per year.
A lot of points.
Yeah, yes, it does.
Well, guys, the closest an Oakland A has ever come to a batting title was Kearney Lansford back in 1989. Finished 3 points behind Kirby Puckett.
That's right.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
One.
That's a good call. There you go. There you go. So you figure if Kearney will probably tell you he lost 8 or 10 pop-ups, would have been in the stands in other ballparks, and there's your batting title.
See, one little jam shot that you fought off and you think, I did a good job fighting that pitch off. Oh, guess what? Oh, yeah. We're at the Coliseum. It's an out.
A year later, Ricky Henderson finished 4 points behind George Brett, the batting champion. Ricky going into the Hall of Fame, of course, next Sunday.
Cabrera has it at short, throws quickly to get Willits. Well, indeed, it is the Hall of Fame for Ricky Henderson this year.
Number 9, Sean Figgins.
A young Ricky. When he got to Oakland, he wore number 35, then traded to the Yankees and made numerous stops. But he was born here in Oakland. He will wear the A's hat going into the Hall of Fame, as he should.
Exemplifying having fun playing the game of baseball. He did it. So many teams, and there's not a person around baseball that I haven't run into. When you mentioned Ricky Henderson, they smile. So happy for him. And Ricky's talking about a comeback?
Well, you're not that surprised, are you? It'll be next Sunday is when he will officially go into the Hall of Fame. He'll have his number retired here at the Coliseum, the number 24. And that will be in the early part of August. But just an absolutely terrific player.
Guys, what's the over-under on number of teammates Ricky Henderson could name by name? Wasn't exactly his strength during his playing days.
I've heard two things.
Too many stories. Ricky's one of a kind. I don't think there's any doubt about that. That's a walk to the leadoff man, Sean Figgins. So Figgins is aboard, and that'll bring up Mycir Izturis. Well, everything you knew about fantasy football is about to change. We're introducing the all-new Fox Fantasy Football with more customizable features and new ways to play. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and join the next generation of fantasy football. That'll be here before you know it.
And, oh, yes.
Izturis lays off.
Dallas Cowboys with a new stadium. That's sensational. Got a glimpse of it from the outside, obviously, over in Arlington.
It's the biggest building I've ever seen. It's massive.
It's Texas.
It's Texas.
Situation here calls for Sean Figgins to find a pitch and go. Somehow you got to start putting pressure again on the Oakland A's defense. This is a perfect opportunity. Contact hitter in Asturias. First base and second base, big hole between them. But more importantly to me is Chone Figgins and his 27 stolen bases this season.
And he's got a huge lead, and there he goes. Pitches outside, throw to second base is in time. Landon Powell throws out Chone Figgins. So Powell has thrown out a couple of base runners today.
Pretty good job by Figgins, and Powell rebounding himself from her earlier error. Quick release again, and Chone Figgins slid a little bit too early. Perhaps on a great tag at second base by Orlando Cabrera. Catch it and drop the glove. That's what we call a power tag.
2-0 to Asturias, and that's in their first stride. So it was a bang-bang play at second. Figgins called out. On the ground toward Kennedy. That will do it. So nothing for the Angels. Bottom of the sixth coming up. It'll be Kennedy, Cabrera, and Holiday. 8-5 Angels. Ball by Landon Powell, and now it's a 3-run game. That turns out to be a huge play.
You better believe it now. Powell has recovered himself and made a couple of nice throws to second baseman. Got a lot of help here. Orlando Cabrera, watch this, applies attack to the back side of the bag because he's a former teammate of Chone Figgins. He knows Figgins has a tendency to slide on that back side of the bag.
So Landon Powell has thrown out a pair of runners. And also saw the air. So an up and down day for Powell. It was an 8-1 Angels lead. It's now 8-5 as Darren Oliver faces the top of the A's order. Quickly jumps ahead 0-2 to Adam Kennedy. Kennedy is 1 for 3. He had the run scoring single in the fourth inning. It was the inning where the A's scored 4 times.
Strange feeling, says Adam Kennedy, to play across the field from the Angels, and we saw their home runs in the postseason in 2002.
992 games with the Angels for Adam Kennedy.
Really turned himself into a Gold Glove quality second baseman. I mean, just worked hard, and what followed him when he originally came from St. Louis was that he had slow feet, that he could not become a good middle infielder. He turned that around quickly. Dependable fielder.
But it was funny, the A's got him from Tampa Bay Rays. He was in the minor leagues with the Rays, and then Mark Ellis got hurt, and Billy Beane went out and got Adam Kennedy to play second base, knowing that Kenny's a good enough athlete. When Ellis comes back, maybe he can play somewhere else. That's what he's doing now at third base. But he was in the minor leagues with the Rays. Swing and a miss by Kennedy. But what happens a couple weeks after the trade, Iwamura gets hurt, the Rays second baseman, but they didn't have Kennedy anymore because he got traded to the A's. So Mike Scioscia's coming out, and Darren Oliver did a nice job in kind of calming things down for the Angels. He is done for the afternoon. Jason Bolger comes in. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, 8-5 Angels lead. A commitment to home and to homeowners. Starting now, home has a new address. That's Bob Oliver, the father of Darren Oliver.
Proud
His
papa.
son did a good job.
Outstanding. Asking Bob Oliver yesterday if he gets nervous when he watches Darren pitch. He says, no, I'll leave that up to my wife.
Well, he's seen enough of it, too. Darren Oliver's been in the big leagues 15, 16 years.
But he does. I always tell my son, telling Darren, just go out there and do the best you can. No excuses. And you talk about a stern message from old school baseball.
The numbers for Jason Bolger: 4-1 with a 4.28 ERA. He pitched in last night's game, pitched an inning through 17 pitches. So Bolger back to work this afternoon. Runs it way inside to Cabrera.
One of those valuable arms Mike Scioscia has in that bullpen, but still trying to find a fit. He has been brilliant at times, and at times he's made some bad pitches for which he has paid, but definitely in terms of talent and stuff, he's got it to at times be dominant.
Bolger's been back and forth between AAA and the Angels the last 3 years. But I would say, Jose, there's some spots and some jobs to be taken in the Angels bullpen, right? Outside of really Oliver and obviously the closer.
Also includes Justin Spire.
Yeah. So Cabrera with the 1-out walk. And that will bring up Matt Holliday. Well, next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Joe Mauer leads the Twins into Anaheim to take on these Angels, or Albert Pujols and the Cardinals battle the Phillies in a possible playoff preview. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Pepsi returns next week at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. Joe Mauer, how much money do you think he's going to get from either the Twins or the open market? Mauer will be a free agent after next year.
He'll set his own market.
He will say, I want this. And
another big question with him is, to prolong his career, avoid more injuries, will he ever switch to another position?
Maybe. Albert Pujols, couple of home runs last night. He's flirting with the Triple Crown.
What's new?
I guess we should sort of be used to it with him.
Does he ever miss a mistake? Doesn't.
34 homers, 89 RBIs for Pujols. Both league leaders, obviously. Holiday a big swing and a miss, and Albert Pujols a .334 batting average. That's third best in the National League. Good afternoon for Matt Holliday. Single, double, and a walk. 1-1 the count to Holliday with Jack Cust in the on-deck circle.
Dangerous hitter at a very opportune time right now for the Oakland A's.
Straight foul back.
Really making better passes at the ball. All about the timing. And Bolger straight over the top. Stiff front leg. Also make sure you bend down, especially he has a very good breaking ball. Really power curved. At times leaves it up in the zone. At times hitters have told me they can see it pretty easy coming out of his hand.
The 1-2 to Holliday. Cabrera, pretty good lead at first. That one's bounced too short. Ibar gives ground. Out at second, and a double play. Nicely turned by the Angels, 6-4-3. And that will do it for the A's in the bottom of the 6th inning. 7th inning coming up. Check out the double play. presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 7th inning from Oakland. It's the Angels 8 and the A's 5. 8-11-0 for Los Angeles and 5-8-4 for the Athletics. So Bobby Abreu steps in. And he goes after the first pitch and drives one to center. Sweeney back, still going back, spins around and makes the catch.
Good job by Eric Aybar in this double play to finish off the inning. Clearing his body, giving his second baseman a good target, a quick release by Aybar, and the play at first, well,
wow.
You be the judge.
There's the foot on the bag.
39, Rob Quinlan.
And is Mike Malinsky, the first base umpire, who missed it actually by quite a bit. And Bob Guerin immediately came out, and Bob Guerin had a very legitimate argument. But not a lot you can do about it. Rob Quinlan steps in. Quinlan in the game because Juan Rivera left in the 3rd inning. So Quinlan, his second at bat. His first at bat, he grounded out to second base. Well, Edgar Gonzalez has done exactly what you want a long reliever to do. He's obviously shut down the Angels, and that has allowed his team to climb back in the game. You could not ask for more from Edgar Gonzalez. He's thrown 41 pitches, and he could throw many more than that if need be. There is some movement now out in the A's bullpen. Looks like maybe Russ Springer, the veteran, is going to get up. 3-0 to Quinlan, runs inside, and it's a 4-pitch walk. Well, time now for the Taco Bell Bring the Heat. Pitch speed comparison for the two starters, Jared Weaver and Vin Mazzaro. Mazzaro throwing a little bit harder. And Jared Weaver kind of lost his stuff in the 4th inning. That's when the A's scored 4 times. So that is the veteran Russ Springer starts to throw. So Kurt Young maybe giving Springer a little time to loosen up. Well, Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball, reaching more than 4 million kids worldwide. Together they create a positive place for kids.
And
just
that's
like the
where it all
ballpark.
starts.
Like the ballpark, right?
Yes.
Positive place for kids. Those youngsters having a good time.
Hoping to see more runs from their A's. Dream from Gonzalez.
More wins in the second half would be what those young A's fans would prefer.
And historically, that is what the
Yeah.
A's did for many years. They were a very good team in the second half of the season.
Well, the AL West has really belonged to the A's and the Angels in the last handful of years. Kendry Morales is the hitter. He takes up and in. Over the last 9 years, starting in the year 2000, the A's have won the division 4 times, the Angels 4 times, and the Mariners once. The Mariners back in 2001 when they win 116 games. But
Sweet Lou.
Sweet Lou.
Well, right now, Don Wakamatsu doing a brilliant job with that ball club.
Yes, he is.
He has them playing the game the right way.
Up and into Morales. Well, obviously the record for the Mariners, 47-43, and that's really what it's all about. But you start to hear players talk about Wakamatsu. Even players from other teams talking about what they are hearing, what Wakamatsu is doing up there with the Mariners. So he is. It's like Don Wakamatsu has a chance to be there a long time. And he's a good baseball man. We wish him the best.
And he has ties with all teams, every one of the teams in the American League West.
Yes, he does, yeah. Wakamatsu was the A's bench coach for a year.
He's over in Texas with Buck Showalter. And he's with the Angels in the minor leagues as an instructor.
Back-to-back walks by Kendry Morales, or by Edgar Gonzalez. So Morales is aboard. Morales has been on base all 4 times in this game. Well, here's the in-game box score for the Angels. It's brought to you by Hyundai, introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. There's the box score. Lots of numbers on there. Figgins at the top, all the way down. We got a pitching change. Russ Springer coming in for the A's. Mike Napoli steps in against Russ Springer, and the first pitch, swing and a miss by Napoli. So Quinlan a 1-out walk, and then Morales the walk. So the Angels with 2 on and 1 out. So Springer trying to get the A's out of this jam. 38th appearance for a long-time reliever Russ Springer. Struggled early this year, but he has been pitching better as of late.
Oh, 40 years old. You wouldn't think with his arm, his velocity, and the last couple of years he's had ERAs under 2.4 pitching for the Cardinals.
Napoli is 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Pitch is high. Well, right before the All-Star break, Russ Springer made his 700th career appearance. Popped up very high, foul territory. Giambi over, and Jason Giambi hangs on right in front of the Angels dugout. Guys are probably yelling, "Watch the ball bag."
Many of everything. Many other ballparks, this is just a straight foul ball. Giambi doesn't have to go that far. You know, as a little kid, when you had your first glove, or perhaps a glove that did so many great things for you, well, for Russ Springer, if you look at his glove, you consider he's been around 13, 14 years, but this is a special 17 years. This is a special glove. I mean, you can't create that. You can't duplicate that. That's a treasure. That's beautiful.
I bet he's had that glove for most of his big league career, and probably all of it. I mean, he's a pitcher. It's not like an infielder, right?
Oh.
There's the Springer career, and it started in 1992 with the Yankees. And there are all the stops.
Matt Love's taking a lot of trips down tunnels and bullpen bags, and you name it.
In the last 3 years for Springer, not including this year, but appearances 72, 76, and 70. And this is a guy who will turn 41 years old in November. Liner fair down the left field line. Quinlan will score. Kendry Morales stops at third, and Gary Matthews Jr. has his second hit, and this one's a big one, an RBI double, and it's 9-5.
For Gary Matthews Jr., nothing new when you consider that the average is pretty low. Look at this piece of hitting, very similar to what we saw earlier in the game going the other way against Mazzaro. Waiting on the ball, staying nice and balanced, and covering the outside half, especially with the guys that throw hard. You tend to cheat because you don't want to get beat with a fastball, but he's straight right on the same plan, same pattern, and gets another base knock. And he's been great men in scoring position. Came in hitting well over 300.
So the big 2-out RBI hit there, and here's Eric Aybar. Aybar goes after the first pitch, pops a foul back. So the 1-out walk to Rob Quinlan ends up coming around to score. He's the third walk that has scored for the Angels today. That one's drive to right, and that's going to get down for a hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Gary Matthews, and he will score, and another big 2-out RBI hit by the Angels, this time a 2-run single for Eric Aybar.
Aybar makes a good adjustment with the top hand, really driving that ball and finishing off his swing with the 2 hands. Now the challenge is with Custon right field, you knew third base coach Dino Ebo was going to be very aggressive on sending Matthews all the way from second base.
So Aybar 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs today. So both the walks have scored. And here's Reggie Willits. Well, last night there was 15 walks combined. Today I got 10 unofficial count.
You're on the money. The amazing thing about last night is how many of those scored?
Not a lot.
Oh.
But last night it has not been 2 pretty baseball games the last 2 days. He's won 7-3 last night. Angels knocking the baseball around this afternoon. Now 11 runs and 13 hits. Willits hits a hard foul. So Edgar Gonzalez, his line is finished 3 1/3 out of the bullpen. Gives up just 1 hit, but he walked 3. And 2 of them scored, so that's 2 earned runs. No strikeouts for Gonzalez. Looks like every Angel in the lineup has at least 1 hit.
Came into this game, the Angels leading all of the major leagues in hitting collectively. There were 5 guys hitting over 300 in the starting lineup today.
That one runs high, so the count 1-2 to Reggie Willits.
A lot of relief for hitting coach Mickey Hatcher, who has heard through the years of criticism of a team that's not patient enough, a team that doesn't walk enough. And Mickey, always a grinder himself, says, I cannot preach anybody to walk. This is not what we do. We hit, get into hitters counts, and we attack.
Yeah, you're going to tell Vladimir Guerrero to lay off a little bit and take a couple pitches? No, not going to do it. Listen, the Angels have won 4 division titles in the last 5 years, so whatever they're doing, it seems to be working okay. Pop up, shallow right. Mark Ellis has it, side retired. 3 runs for the Angels. 7th inning stretch. It's 11-5 Angels. In a power hitter, but very unique home runs. A lot of it the uppercut. Check how long this ball is in the air, Jose.
Elevation. Keep counting. Wow.
Now you say, well, is that a long time? Yeah, it is, because lots of research tells us that the average home run in the major leagues is in the air between 5 and 5 1/4 seconds. That one in the air over 7 seconds. And he's got such an uppercut, the ball just gets up in the air and it just takes off.
No heavy air holding it, would you say?
Well, that's probably part of it as well.
33 home runs last season for Jack Cust.
He'd become a pretty good power hitter. 26 home runs in 07, 33 last year, and 14 this year. As we talked about earlier, strikes out a lot, walks a lot. But he is a significant threat at the plate. 2-2 now. Today, Cust is 1 for 1. An RBI single in the 3rd, and he has walked twice. Strike 3 called with a breaking pitch. So Cust strikes out, 1 out. Fox Saturday Baseball is presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. And sponsored by KFC and the new $5 fill-up box featuring the Kentucky Grilled Chicken. And by One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball, specially formulated for men. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A's now trailing by 6 runs after the 3 spot by the Angels in the top of this inning. Kurt Suzuki pop up to shallow right, and that's 2 outs. So Kurt Suzuki DHing tonight is 0 for 4.
First baseman, number 16.
Well, let's check out our Just for Men hair color hold leaders. Just as these relievers keep their keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. Jose Arredondo.
Currently in the minor leagues.
In the minor leagues.
And a couple of nights ago had a very good outing, so he could be on his way back. And you mentioned it before, it's right there for the taking.
Giambi drives one to the gap in left center, and that will get down. Giambi with a 2-out double.
You know, earlier we were talking about that swing. Where has it been for so many years? And if he gets back to this, you'll see the average go up. You'll see the power go up the other way. But this is what we saw for so many years from Giambi with this A's uniform. That's just good hitting, staying on the ball.
Well, I think you said it right, though, Jose. He gave up some average playing at Yankee Stadium to hit for power. Would you? And he was a power hitter before, too, but saying to hit home runs with the short porch in right field.
Can't fault him for it either.
No, certainly not.
Big expectations, a big contract.
I mean, last year, perfect example. He hit 32 home runs and knocked in 96 runs. But the average, 247. And really, that was kind of the way it was with him while he was in New York. Ryan Sweeney slices one foul, so the count quickly 0-2. But you're right, the years with the A's, 295, 315, 333, 342. Spread it around, use the whole field.
It's good to see Jason. He's feeling well. His hitting coach Jim Scaling has said he likes what he sees lately.
And a couple of hits today for Giambi, 2 for 4. A couple of hard hit balls. But listen, I think if the Yankees give you a $120 million contract and you go to Yankee Stadium and right field is 360, I mean, it's a short porch.
Think about it. It's enticing for guys that don't have any power to become pull happy.
Sure.
I mean, when you have a guy that can break a bat and go over that wall over there at 314, 312,
Yep.
Why not?
Sweeney lays off that pitch, 1-2. The question now is, how far is that wall in the new Yankee Stadium in right field?
Distance is one thing, but what I know is, having stood back there at Yankee Stadium in right center field one time, there's a draft.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a breeze that just blows steadily that way.
Mm-hmm. Giambi with a short lead at second, and the 1-2 to Sweeney, and he went around, and a good curveball from Jason Bolger as he gets a couple of strikeouts. 8th inning coming up, 11-5 Angels. It's Craig Breslow. He's the lone left-hander out of the Oakland bullpen. Acquired earlier from the Minnesota Twins, so the 45 appearances combined between the Twins and the A's for Breslow. And he will go at the top of the order. Figgins, Izturis, and Bobby Abreu. 11-5, the Angels with the lead. They scored 1 in the first, 6 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 3 more in the seventh. Figgins with a pop-up that'll reach the seats. Well, Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, congratulates Sean Figgins, today's MLB Clutch Performer of the Game, presented by Pepsi. Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award at PepsiClutch.com. Leadoff home run, and then he went back to being the old Sean Figgins, running around the bases, making life difficult for everybody. Homer, a single, and 2 walks for Sean Figgins today. He is always very difficult on the Athletics. This year he's got 13 hits and 30 at-bats against the A's. And 5 for 11 in this series.
Leading the American League in runs scored. You can see what happens when he's on base. He creates so many problems and distractions throughout. Changes the whole pattern of a game or an inning.
Changeup, a swing and a miss by Figgins, so he's retired for the first time today.
Glenn, and I mentioned earlier with Figgins and his initial disappointment because he was one of the 5 finalists for the last vote to get into the All-Star game. And how about the news? Brandon Inge made it. He was voted in by the fans at the last minute. But to get that phone call 8 in the morning, day of the game, make it St. Louis, how special for Sean. And yes, he can say it. I'm an All-Star.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you then, Jose.
Uh-oh.
It's a fairly significant list of free agents for the Angels in this offseason, and Sean Figgins is one of them. Figgins, Guerrero, Abreu, Lackey, Darren Oliver. Those are all key contributors as Myceris Torres hits one foul. Start with Sean Figgins. Still a fairly young player, really right in the prime of his career. I would think he would be at the top of that list as far as priorities for the Angels.
I agree with you because he brings so much and he's so versatile.
There's that foul territory, and Kennedy cannot quite get it. Foul territory, not easy on the defense either.
So well, this is what made Eric Chavez such a special player. Unfortunately, he is hurt again this season, but talk about a guy that perhaps could have played the outfield because he could cover so much ground.
Yeah.
Eric Chavez, year after year, Gold Glover, by making plays like that amongst many others. So I would say, yeah, it's a challenge for the Angels and for Mike Scioscia, for Tony Riggins, the general manager, as to who comes back. I think a lot of it will depend on how they end.
Yeah, sure. Swing and a miss, so a couple of strikeouts for Breslow. It's time now for the Mercedes-Benz E-Class Attention Assist of the game. And watch the Orlando Cabrera double play in the 4th inning. Cabrera very good at short, and he showed there. Step over the runner. And that's the double play.
That was a little cumbia there from Colombia, a little dance. Huh?
Well, here's another guy, Bobby Abreu. Boy. Obviously just a 1-year deal when he signed with the Angels, and price-wise, a bargain for the Angels.
Here's my question of Abreu. How do you replace what he brings? That's how valuable he is to me.
So
whom?
He's an intangible guy as well.
I would say this guy deserves a chance to come back. How do you replace what he brings? He can hit him 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. He's going to steal bases. He's going to get on base. He's going to work counts. He's going to drive in runs. And again, I'll say it again. I said it earlier. Forget about the home runs. Run production to me is what matters. And he can do that with little home runs.
6 straight 100 RBI seasons, and he's probably going to do it again this year.
And he scored runs, too.
Craig Breslow, a nice job. He strikes out the side in the top of the 8th inning. In the official partner of Major League Baseball road trips by Caduet and by the all-new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Yes. The Angels trying to win Game 3 of this 4-game series, and they have an 11-5 lead, bottom of the 8th inning. Kevin Jepson takes over. Strong right-hander. So, 4th pitcher of the afternoon for the Angels. Understand the Angels are very high on this young man. Kevin Jepson has a chance to be a pretty good reliever if he can put it all together.
Has an excellent arm. Powerful fastball, mid-90s, sometimes high 90s. Now he's working on a tight cut fastball, which is working pretty well so far for him. Also an overhand power curveball, but has not put it all together yet. With experience and hard work, he should. I mean, he should be a guy that for sure he has closer stuff and should be considered as he matures and grows into a spot. A good 8th inning guy to begin with. But he's also a prime example, Glenn, of a guy that throws so hard, and it's not so much about throwing hard, but where you throw in the big leagues. You get away with 92, 93 if you spot it well and you have good movement, but at 95, 96 flat over the plate's not going to work up here.
Jepson was the 2nd-round pick of the Angels in the 2002 draft.
But like it's happening now to Arredondo, he had to spend some time in the minor leagues trying to get things straightened out too.
Three and two now to Landon Powell. It's been a good afternoon for Powell. A double in the 2nd, a single in the 4th, and a walk in the 5th. A's have 9 hits in the game. They've stranded 8. Up the middle. Ibar was playing behind second, and he throws low, but in time to get Landon Powell, and that's the first out. And let's go back downstairs and check in with Chris.
All right, Glenn, DirecTV game break. Mets and Braves, and it's the always exciting Omir Santos force out. That'll score David Wright. Runs at a premium today because Johan's on the mound in the 7th. Bases loaded jam against Nate McLeod. Mets also get out of the bases loaded jam in the 8th. Lead it 2-1 in the 9th. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team only on DirecTV. Glenn?
All right, thanks, Chris. Boy, the Mets injuries, and they just cannot seem to put it all together.
Now pressure on Omar Minaya. And had an acquisition of Jeff Francoeur recently. But right now he's not going to provide all the answers. There's just so many guys out with Carlos Delgado and Reyes, and lack of production in other areas, along with the injury to Carlos Beltran, an all-star outfielder.
0-2 to Mark Ellis. You saw New York 8.5 back coming into today in that NL East, and the Phillies are starting to open it up. They've won 7 in a row. They hung on to beat the Marlins last night in the dirt, 1-2. So we start to see a little separation in that National League East.
Those Phillies finally winning at home. They're at 22-23 before today's game. On the road, pretty dominant, 28-15.
One-two to Mark Ellis. Hits it to the right side where Kendry Morales races to the bag, and that's 2 outs. Now here's the in-game box score for the Oakland Athletics. It's brought to you by Hyundai, introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Couple of hits for Matt Holliday and a couple of RBIs. Jack Cust had an RBI single. Couple of hits for Jason Giambi, and Landon Powell 3 hits, but the A's short in the run column, trailing 11-5. Ibar has a nice hop, and Kevin Jepson a very clean bottom of the 8th inning. 9th inning coming up, 11-5 Angels. Hope you're enjoying our telecast. The A's and the Angels this afternoon, and again, a lot of Angels offense. They've been scoring a lot of runs as of late, and the A's are finding that out today. So first place Angels after a little bit of a slow start, flexing their muscles again, and I don't think anybody's really that surprised that as we start the second half, Angels are in first place. I think that's where people figured they would be.
You know, the one thing is that, again, you get a glimpse today is how they're making it happen without Guerrero and without Hunter.
And last night and the night before, too, just scoring different ways, balanced throughout their lineup.
The big inning has come, and going back to before the All-Star break against the Yankees, they've had the ability to put big innings together offensively.
Rob Quinlan leading it off. Quinlan, Morales, Napoli for the Angels against Santiago Casilla. Here's your line score.
There it is.
Yep, that was the big one. 6 runs and 6 hits for the Angels in that third inning. Mark Ellis charges, and he'll get Quinlan. 4-3 on the putout, 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Well, this game-changing play is brought to you by Holiday Inn. Signs of change are everywhere.
And here's
4 errors.
Going the other way. There's 1 error. Sean Figgins in pressure on the third baseman. Kennedy throws it away. Figgins knows exactly where he is. And this is a very costly play that perhaps changed the game. The catcher Powell drops the throw. And there's something we've got kind of getting used to in this series is guys throwing the ball away over to that side of the bag.
And as we found out, it's going to cost you more than 90 feet.
As Chris Rose has it all down to the steps.
Henry Morales, a terrific afternoon. 2 singles, 2 walks, 2 runs scored. To left field where Holiday comes in. So the A's will retire Kendry Morales for the first time today. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. These 2 teams will wrap up
Number 44.
this series tomorrow, and then Angels will head to Kansas City for a 3-game series against the Royals. The A's will stay home, and they will host the Minnesota Twins Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. First pitch to Napoli is a strike. Tough stretch for the Athletics. It was a 28 consecutive days playing baseball.
Always a challenge, especially to your starting rotation.
Making up a game in New York that was rained out earlier, and instead of making up the game as part of a doubleheader in New York, the players voted to play it on an off day instead, which turned a 3-game series in New York into a 4-game series. 1-2 now to Mike Napoli, so that's how it stretched out into 28 consecutive games.
You mentioned at the top of the show how every time you see the A's, you're going to see some good young starting pitchers, and there's the line on all of them. All of them have the ability to keep you in the ballgame. What all of them need? More run support. Really, throughout the years, they've done an outstanding job in developing and keeping young pitchers, getting them in the system, getting used to throwing to the defense. A good ballpark, and you know, throughout the years too, Kurt Young has really seen so many guys leave when they have success here because they can't retain them.
Mike Napoli hit by a pitch on a 2-2 count. Napoli, a big strong guy, but it still hurts.
Sounded like it hit a glove somewhere, right?
Wow. 96 miles an hour, right to the number on the back of Mike Napoli. But to talk about that young rotation, there is talk about if the A's can get Justin Duchscherer back. Duchscherer, their all-star pitcher, he's been out all year. He's currently trying to rehab and get back to the big leagues. 2-0 now to Gary Matthews Jr. If they can get him back maybe in 3 weeks to a month, put him in the rotation and make it a 6-man rotation, strictly to protect those young guys and the amount of innings. Now that is a possibility if Duchscherer can get back and become a starter, which is still a question, but if he can, they may do that. Gary Matthews has his third hit, and Napoli's going to head for third, and he will make it. First and third, 2 outs for the Angels.
And they are in a position, going back to your point, where they can afford to do that.
Yeah.
Because you want to stretch the young starters out, especially when you get to late July, middle of August, and those innings starts piling up where you're not thinking about 09 anymore. You think about keeping these guys healthy and still getting the experience and making sure there's not an issue with health in the future.
And if you do it right, you could have those guys next year all ready to maybe throw 180, 185, 190 innings. Maybe more, who knows? Eric Ibar is the hitter. Ibar has 2 hits tonight, or today. 14 hits for the Angels on the afternoon. Ibar had a 2-out, 2-run single in the 7th inning. That capped off the 3-run inning. So Napoli at third and Matthews at first. Outside, and now 3-0. Santiago Casillas.
We're talking about center field and how you have to let hitters and challenge them. Look at swing. He's telling Eric Ibar, let's go. I'd like to run back, but prove it to me. But he's taking away that short line drive to center field.
I always felt like I would rather see a center fielder play a little bit more shallow than a little bit more deep.
That was the argument for so many years.
And it is. It's, yeah, you could go. Some people disagree with that.
In Coors Field, how many times did we hear it? Well, the ball's going to travel over your head.
It's probably going to travel over the fence. Very high and deep to right. Cust back. Still going back near the wall, and he caught it. Jack Cust right at the wall, reached up and made a nice catch. Angels strand a pair. Bottom of the 9th coming up from the Oakland Coliseum. 11-5 Angels. Angels 11 and the A's 5. New pitcher for the Angels, it's Matt Palmer. So Palmer takes over for Kevin Jepson. And he will face Cabrera, Holiday, and Cust here in the bottom of the ninth.
You talk about a guy taking advantage of opportunities. Look at the mark, is 7-1. He has now started games and has been used as a long reliever for the Angels.
On the ground, hard toward third, but a nice play by Figgins. Throws low, dugout. No problem by Kendry Morales. So a nice play all around for the first out here in the bottom of the ninth.
That's how valuable Sean Figgins is, and he is really becoming to a very dependable third baseman. Going to his left, isolate your body, make sure you plant yourself, get a good throw out there, and a nice pickup by Kendry Morales. Instead of going across to get that ball, he gives himself an angle going back first to get the right hop.
Here's Matt Holiday. The first pitch, a strike on the outside corner. And you could say Matt Palmer's been an unsung hero for the Angels so far this season.
Oh, at a time when there was a need and urgency, he stepped up in a big way. And here's another thing. You don't see many guys coming up from AAA with an 11.7 ERA and have success in the big leagues. He did it from the time he stepped on a big league mound. Former San Francisco Giant.
Yeah. Another hard hit ball toward Figgins. Again to his left, a nice play, and that's the second out. Well, we've had Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire, mic'd today. Listen in.
Hey, good bud. How you doing? Hey, what's up, Mark? Oh man, that almost got me. Fair. You called it fair? Yeah, I came back. Nothing. Clean. And he threw it up there. How often you get that? Never. Timmy, get those guys some water.
Well, we certainly appreciate Chris Guccione wearing the microphone today.
He has the last word.
Yes,
those
he
guys
does.
some water.
Yes, he does.
Did a very fine job behind the plate today.
Final hope for the A's is Jack Cust. Cust is 1 for 2. And he swings and misses, and it's quickly 0-2. Just a bit outside. Well, tonight on Fox, don't miss a full hour of Cops, followed by an all-new America's Most Wanted. It all starts at 8, 7 Central tonight here on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. 2-2 now to Cust. A's have not scored since the 4th inning. That is when they scored 4 times. They got 1 in the 3rd. 4 in the 4th, but nothing since. Three and 2 to Cust. If Cust were to get aboard, Kurt Suzuki would hit. Payoff pitch from Matt Palmer. It's driven to right, and that baby's gone. A long one for Jack Cust. Number 15 on the year. It's 11-6. Well, that one may not have been in the air 7.1 seconds. That was more of a high line drive.
And Jack has been sitting very well today on the off speed. And fastball up in the zone, connects.
Well, the first home run of the afternoon for the Athletics. And here's Kurt Suzuki. Kurt's looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 4. And now Suzuki behind in the count 0-2. So Palmer's been getting ahead of the hitters. Oh, we're told that one stayed in the air 5.6 seconds. Just the shade over the league average, Jose.
Jack, what is wrong with you? We're 7.1. But still over the league average.
Yeah, that's right. The A's are certainly hoping for a big second half from Jack Cust. And pretty good start to the second half with the home run today. He's been on base 4 times. 0-2 to Kurt Suzuki. Palmer dropped down a little bit on that pitch. That one's driven to left. Quinlan back, still going back, and it's over his head up against the wall. Kurt Suzuki has a double. Ball rolling around in the infield, but it's finally picked up by the catcher, Mike Napoli. So a 2-out homer and then a double. And Jason Giambi will hit. So Kurt Suzuki does get his first hit of the afternoon. 11 hits for the A's.
For Suzuki, I mean, Glenn, you see him a lot more than I do, but it's got to be a strange feeling to not also be thinking about calling pitches, as he is a designated here this afternoon.
Yeah, he very much wants to catch every day. I'm not sure that he enjoys the DH thing. Jason Giambi, pretty good swings today, and that's a good sign for the A's. He's 2 for 4 with a single and a double. Two 2-0 to Giambi. And now 3-0.
We showed you how the Angels defend Giambi usually is. Brian Sweeney waits on deck. Much different defending him now with a man at second base, where you want to have your third baseman occupying that area over there by the shortstop.
.30 pitches in first strike. That's outside, and it's a walk. A's remaining alive here in the 9th inning. It's the 6th walk issued by Angels pitchers in the ball game. So 2 on and 2 out. And the closer, Brian Fuentes, starts to throw.
Something that has happened a lot as of late with big leads in the latter part of the games, where Brian Fuentes at the last minute has to get up. He is leading the major leagues in saves, but there are times in which you wish you don't have to go, or at least get your closer up in the game.
Well, that's always a goal if you're behind by a lot. In this case, the A's are. Hey, let's get their closer up and at least make him throw some pitches down to the bullpen. So Sweeney, and the first pitch to Sweeney is bounced to the right side. Morales has it. He'll step on the bag, and the side is retired, and that's the ball game. Jack Cust with a solo home run in the 9th inning, but the A's come up short. So the Angels win it this afternoon by a